Well, welcome back to another chest day. As I said before, you're gonna be seeing a lot more incline. Try and build it up for shell. So, of course, it's not the better start, but barbell incline. 2 sets of 8 here, and 2 sets of 4. Again, we're gonna do about 2-minute rest in between each set. Just like I explained yesterday, we're trying something new for the rest time. It's normally, you guys know me, I'd be like doing 90 seconds, but to get the most out of it, make sure you get the most proper amount of rest in between. We're going to try 2 minutes, see how it goes. Because again, it's like, especially when you go from, 8 to 4, big difference. So we'll see how it goes. And we're kind of midweek now, about 3 more days. We did a food challenge. Again, we're going to be doing it in and out. So if you live in the South or you've been in and out before, you can taste on how good it is. I prefer, especially for me being living in Houston for this past 4 years, a lot of people like to say a Whataburger is the best. I disagree. Me personally, I think In-N-Out is way better than Whataburger. I think Whataburger is just overrated. Because the time with the Whataburger is like, that shit's just like, you got like the toppings, the lettuce and tomato bigger than the patty. I'm like, how's that even possible? And how's that like even doable? And on top of it, the condiment that you get is just straight mustard. When I first went to Whataburger, when I moved down here, none of my roommates told me how Whataburger process. So when I ordered some sandwiches, I was thinking it already came with toppings. But, when I got the burger and when I took a bite, it was just like mustard. I was wondering where the ketchup barbecue sauce was. Like, now they don't do that. You gotta ask for it. I'm like, at that point, it's like, you gotta go to a burger place, you gotta ask for like additional condiments to put on your burger. Only at that point. I mean, don't get me wrong, I also have it, but I just think In-N-Out is way better than Whataburger. So what's the challenge? That's gonna be 10 cheeseburgers, 3 animal style fries, and 2 milkshakes. That's gonna be the challenge here. For me, I'm thinking this might be the first W in the books here and start the new year strong, completing this challenge. But because again, I have high faith because I kind of did like a similar challenge like that last year, back in October of 23. I did like 6 double doubles, 2 fries, 1 animal style, and 1 regular, and 2 milkshakes, and I completed all of it. But this time it's a little bit different because all the fries is animal style. And for most of y'all that have In-N-Out and, know what animal style is, like they put cheese in the dressing, the signature sauce, and like I think it's onions and bacon bits. I can't remember the other part, but that's what they do. So, of course, the extra cheese and extra dressing is going to add more into it. So, I don't know how to play it out right there. My thought process this time is I'll just complete the fries first, and then if I need to, I'll do the burgers and shakes in between to help along with that. I don't know the exact amount of calories it will be, but I'm sure it'll be close to 6,000. So, like I said, I'm excited because it's like just looking at it, just picturing it. I can kill the 10 burgers, no problem. As if you guys watched it before when I did the McDonald's one, right? I killed those 10 sandwiches, plus they're all different sizes, right? I went from Big Macs to double cheeseburger and McDoubles and the chickens. So I know I don't got no problem with the cheeseburgers. It's just the fries. Milkshakes won't be too much of a problem because I can take a bite and then sip on a milkshake, things like that. So we'll see how it goes when that time comes. I'll be doing this Saturday, of course, after my leg day. Work out. I'll be challenging things like that. So I'm looking forward to it. So we'll see how it goes. As like the same time too, is like I haven't really done anything different, prep myself up to it and just been doing the same things. Just following my plan. Just, eat 4,000 calories, chilling around 235, 236. So really I can't complain. I don't need to do anything different. And it's just like just keep doing it, and like you want to enjoy yourself that one time out. By all means go for it. There's no stress, there's no guilt. And then take a little breather the next day or two and then just hop right back on afterwards. So that's pretty much about it. How I'm processing, how I'm going about these things. So it's nothing too crazy, doing these type of challenges, doing the workouts, eating 4,000 calories, just the normalcy now, to be honest. All right, that's it for barbell. On to dumbbell. All right, Sunday's a little too light. We're gonna grab the 80s. And it's funny how I get asked this question is how you able to eat so much food and still look the way I do, or if I eat that much I blow up like a balloon. Well, you gotta really ask yourself, are you being 85, 90% true to your diet or just true to your regimen? If you're not, and if you haven't built yourself up over time, of course you can blow up like a balloon. Of course you're not gonna be looking the way you do or the way I do, because you just haven't built yourself up. And so what I mean by building yourself up, I mean by when you again, for me to eat 5,000 or 6,000 calories in one sitting, it's it took me years to kind of build myself up again. Because again, I got the fat kid at heart mantra, right? But it's over time, it took me years to build up. And it's over time, I just maybe I might eat that same meal, same cheat meal, probably 3 or 4 weeks, right? Just to keep challenging myself to see if I can keep improving. If I'm not, I have to figure out different ways to how increase the amount of calories in one sitting over time. So like I said, I've been doing this for 4+ years now. Was I'm able to do so. Plus, at the same time, as I'm building more muscle, as I'm eating more food, metabolism is starting to jack up over time. So my body's able, process, digest, transfer all those foods faster than, of course, again, is what you guys' metabolism is. Yo, shit. I might be pushing 100 soon. I'd be very excited for that. We're going to do one more set of 80s. And you know what? Fuck it. We're going 90s. I'll just wait till that time comes. But it's just like anything else, right? It's just like when you try to progress in the gym. When you're trying, like, let's say you're trying to squat 135 on the bar, right? If you're a woman, and you just slowly build yourself, you start with the bar, move to 10s, move up to 25s, and slowly show you move up to 45s, right? That's the same thing when you try to eat that amount of food in one sitting, or when you try to eat that amount of calories in one day, right? And it's like, and the reason why my body is able to, process things, and the reason why my body is able to look the way it do is because, like, when I do have these cheat meals, if we're taking like the overall spectrum, right? And say, like, if I have 5 meals a day, that's 7 days a week, right? That's 35. And if I just take that one meal portion out of the day, out of the 35, that's 1 out of 35. So we're talking like fucking what? Maybe a 7% difference right there. That's not going to entirely affect my results. It's entirely affect my, my physique. But if I were to do a portion where, if I wasn't eating clean, out of my 5 meals, if maybe like 1 or 2 meals of my meal was, something a little out of the ordinary or unhealthy on top of what I was doing as a cheat meal, then yes, then I would not be looking the way I do. Because again, the meal consumption out of 35, the ratio just won't be ideal. So I got 34 or 35 clean meals. Let's take one step further. Let me go to the point where those meals, right? It's clean, right? I have eggs, beef, rice, fruit, oats, egg whites, and vegetables, right? So out of 7 sources of food, it's all very clean. So when I go have processed, when I go have shit fun food, that one meal is not going to affect me too much because it kind of switches up my body to process a little bit faster because it's been so used to eating clean. So when I have a different source of food coming inside my body is responding a little bit different. It's like, oh, this is not the same. So it's got to speed it up and it's got to do a little bit more different. If that makes sense. The best way I can describe it for you on that sense, right? It's just for me being eating clean for so long. But it's like cool now, but we take a step further, we figure out how many meals. Now we figure out the amount of calories, right? Let's say I eat 4,000 calories a day. And I just said the maintenance level for that is 28,000 for the week. Well, let's take Sunday and Thursday, kind of like out of the picture because I reduced it back to 3,700. So I have 600 calories stored left over that I haven't utilized, right? And let's say for a cheat day on Saturday, I may eat 1,000 calories. So I still got another 3,600 calories to kind of leeway, right? So if I do a cheat meal, I might go over, let's say 2 or 3,000 calories. It's not going to be the end of the world because I got other ways to play around. I got other ways to maneuver the amount of energy, the amount of calories it's consuming in and things like that. Is that easier or harder? No, it's still at the table. And the entire row back to my cable spot. Oh, the table area. All right, that's enough for dumbbell incline on the chest flies. All right, we got 4x10 here. We're doing nice and slow. 10 reps right here. So yeah, so like going back to what I was saying, because I might be over 2 or 3,000 calories, but that's why like every time like when I do those things, it's like it's not the end of the world. Because again, for you to gain weight and for you to gain fat, you need to be over 3,500 calories or above your maintenance. Like day after day, week after weekend, month after month. That's when you start to notice you're getting fat because you've been 3,500 calories over what your truly maintenance is. Not for that day, but for that entire week. So taking a look at, let's just say for average daily consumption, let's just take mine for example, to make it easier, right? Cool. So I'm already at 4,000 as like my maintenance, right? Or I wouldn't say my maintenance, but like let's just say for make it easy, just to understand, 4,000 is my maintenance. All right, if I were to eat 500 calories above my maintenance every single day for 7 days a week, that's 3,500 calories, right? So at some point, that extra calories of 3,500 will increase over time. It may not happen right in the first month or two, but if I were to keep doing that, again, week after week, month after month, and all the way up to a year, yes, it will add up to a point where I will gain maybe 10, 20 pounds of extra body fat by doing so. But if you're within reason of your maintenance and you're within reason of like, again, how you plan through your week and through your days to lead up to that moment of you having a cheat meal or what you're going on for a social event or whatever that case is, then it's like, you don't necessarily have to worry about you gaining the weight or you getting fat after a night out. Because again, you already have a plan in place and you already understand the process, what's happening. I don't know what to say. Thought I was focused, but yeah, I'm not prepared. I have a little ways. I'm looking for someone and no one there. I'm my own worst enemy. Oh. going on, Amber? Good, yourself? It's like once you have a plan, once you have a process, once you have a system in place, then you don't really necessarily have to worry about all these things that you're worrying about right now, right? Because at the end, life is all about enjoyment, and life is all about having fun. It's not being miserable. It's not about stressing out. It's not about making things complicated. So when you have all those things in place, when you do those things, we're waking up the next morning, not checking the scale. You wake up the next morning, not feeling guilty about yourself. You're waking up the next morning, you know, just another day. You wake up in the next morning, it's another day. You know what you need to do because you already have a plan in place. You know exactly like, cool, I just need to cut back a little bit. Add a little more protein, keep yourself full for that day. And then the day or two afterwards, because, it takes about 48, 72 hours for your body to calm down, get back to normal. Then you just get back on your plan, exactly what you're doing. That's pretty much it. It's nothing more. Because again, the process is like the more food you eat and the more you train hard too, and the more muscle mass you acquire over time, the more you put yourself in that position to do these things without the guilt, without the anxiety, without the stress to, you know, or sit here. And that's the whole point of these channels too, is like just to showcase you, educate you guys, and show you exactly, my thoughts, the way I view, look at things, right? How I go about things, how I plan, how I structure, and what I do to, do these food challenges, still look the way I want to look, and go hard as fuck as training things like right. As well as channels main purpose for is to showcase you guys like exactly what I do and give you guys a blueprint. It's like if you just follow the 6 principles that I keep mentioning about, then it's like once you get and you master it, then it's like again, it's stress free, you feel confident, and you know exactly what you need to do, wake up every single morning. To the point where it's like you're not even worried about the scale, you're not worried about being calorie deficit, you're not worrying about what's the next best thing out there. The only thing you're pretty much worrying about is pretty much like what night out you want to go attend to, what night out do you want to go indulge yourself in, right? That's what you should be worried about, not the other bullshit around there. So I'd rather you be worrying about like what amounts of food you want, what type of night you want to indulge versus you worry about the scale, worry about the next calorie deficit, worry about, you being stressed, all that other dumb shit you just don't need to be worried about. So that's how I look at it, to be honest. That's it. All right, on the dips. Yeah. Oh. How we got dips here? 3 by 10. This time we're just starting out with 50 pounds weighted. And we'll go from there as weeks go on. Because again, different ore, different selections. So feeling pretty good on these dips. But yeah, like for me, I'm always worrying about what food challenge I want to do. Or like how much food do I want to indulge, right? I'm always worrying about that. I'm not worried about the scale. I'm not worried about like that night out, what it's gonna do or affect my body in a sense, right? I'm never worried about that. I'm just worried about what's next food challenge. And again, that's my own opinion. Maybe you just like to worry about the scale. Maybe you just like to worry about you being stressed all the time. You know, try and get yourself ready again. Who knows? I mean, if you want to keep living that way, hey, by all means, keep doing it. But I don't see any fun. I don't see any point in doing so. And for me, like the way I do it, again, stress free. I'm confident in what I do. And at the same time, it's fucking freedom too. Freedom for me to do so. Even though, like, you might look at me as like a bodybuilder and stuff like that. Again, there's always going to be certain points and times where, I would have to take a break from doing food challenges because they, either I'd be getting ready for a show or maybe get ready for some sort of event. Who knows? Some things like that, right? So you got to understand what season you're in. Of course, for me, I'm still in the season of bulking. Of course, now I'm lean bulking, things like that, because, I'm still trying to maintain 235, 237 in that range, but put as much more lean muscle tissue as I can, as opposed to what I've been doing for the past 4 years. Yeah. Fuck. And you also gotta understand what season you're in. It's why it's so important to understand the season, to realize where you're trying to go. What's the destination? Is the destination for you to look good for a wedding, this summer or this upcoming season? All right, maybe I might have to sacrifice, right? We've been in person going out like 2 to 4 times a week. Man, shit, just cut that down to once a week. That shit's always gonna be there. That shit ain't gonna be in the world when you cut it out for a little bit. But it's like, again, if you want to stop, always going to events or attending these parties and always telling yourself, man, I didn't look that good, or you look back at the picture and you're just not liking what you see from the photos. And that's when you really gotta ask yourself, is like, what's the destination? What's the end goal for yourself to get you ready and prepared for those next events, parties, whatever you got, vacations, whatever that is, right? So it's like, meanwhile, I just have to sacrifice for short term to get the long term result. And over time, you might understand, like, cool, that season might be 6 months, right? If you can't really just lock in or focus up for those 6 months, then it's like, you're not gonna be able to do the things you need to do, and you're not gonna be able to be in the game for that long, because you're always worried about or feel like you're having this FOMO of like you're missing out on things. In reality, if your health is not in check, or you're really missing out when you're in the hospital, or when you're like feeling sick all the time because your health is just not in check. Oh, shit. We're gonna stay right there for a while. The chest is pump. Has different dips on the incline skulls, and that's it. Incline skulls, 4x10 here, and that's a wrap for the day. So you probably wanted to, like, these workouts are shorter and these are quicker. It's like, yeah, we're taking, we're backing down the volume just a little bit. Because as you know, it's like last week or last phase, there's like tons of volume that was I was playing into it. So it's like, we're kind of going waves of volume. So last phase was a little bit more higher volume. Again, that's the reason why we did like 1263, things like that. This time we're kind of tailing back just a little bit, but we're still pushing hard and things like that. So maybe, it's the answer pushing. That's why it's looking quicker. And that's why it's like maybe like short workouts in most videos, I've done and things like that. But going back to what I was saying is like, are you really being true with yourself? Are you being true to the point where you know exactly every single aspect that's going wrong in your life that you can figure out what you need worked on? If you can't figure out, if you're just letting your mind tell you like, this is what you've been doing, like you're just guessing it, you're doing yourself a disservice and you're doing yourself, dishonest with your own self. You can tell other people like you're doing this, but it's just not working. But in reality, you're lying to yourself. You can lie to that person all you want. But, in reality, the only person you're really hurting is yourself. Because, if you're going to keep complaining, if you're going to keep putting yourself in a position where you can't lose the next, 10, 20, how many pounds you need to lose, then it's like, you just need to be in a position where like, exactly, you're tracking everything to a T, exactly what you're doing to your nutrition, to your workouts, to your steps, to the 6 principles, knowing your foods, hydration, sleeping, recovery, all those things like that. And it's like, if you don't know exactly everything down to a T, you just guess anything like, yeah, you've been doing this, or I think I've been doing that. There's a difference between thinking and knowing. I don't want this. All right, I'm going to increase the weight to 90 here. Yeah, like I said, like there's a difference between you think you know, or you think so, or you know so. And it's like for me, example, right? Everything I tell you, I know exactly to a T. I'm not guessing, man. I'm not thinking like, oh, this was this many. Like, I'm telling you exactly how it is because I know everything I'm doing to a T. When it comes to my workouts, when it comes to my nutrition, doing 4,000 calories, I can tell you to a T of all the meals I'll be doing, right? Through my, from meal 1 all the way to meal 4. I can tell you all the T from all the workouts I've done, right? I can tell you T all the weights I've done, right? You know, like, yeah, I still track and log it, but that's me. Like, I love tracking, I love logging because it's like science. It's like, math. I look at it as like math in a sense, like tracking and logging all your shit. And at the same time, it's like, yeah, like I know I'm getting, again, there's going to be days where I don't get 10,000 steps, but I know I get close to 10,000 steps or I'm hitting 10,000 steps a day. There's ways I know like I'm getting the proper amount of hydration. make sure my sleep is on point as best as I could based on my body. Make sure I'm managing stress, this year. All those things like that. Knowing the foods that work well in my body and doesn't. So I know everything to a T has working. So when things are not working, where I add something different into the mixture, now you'd be like, okay, like this shit did not work. Let me take this out. Let me either keep doing what I'm doing or let me try something else in and see if that works. If that doesn't, then I'll just keep doing what I'm doing. Because at the end of the day, why fix when something isn't broken? And it just doesn't like have to be like when it comes to like, your fitness, comes to you with your work, comes with your relationships, comes with different aspects of your life, right? So it's like, when you put that in perspective, like just hold everything, you know, in those categories. Because at the same time, right? When it just comes to your job, like, how much you got to spend, right? You know how much your bills are going to be. You know how much you could be making per week, per month, whatever the case is, right? So, like, those things, I guess, man. And you know exactly what brand you want to buy, right? You know exactly, like, you want to, like, have an Apple product, the shoes, clothing, whatever the case is. You know exactly what that. You're not thinking about, like, oh, this will look good. Like, you're not thinking about it. Like, you know what you want. So why not put that same mentality into your health? You know what you're doing for your health. And yes, for me, it's like, I know, like, when I do these food challenges, I know coming in, like, yes, I am going to gain weight because it's a little bit more calories than I consume that day. Things that I go add a little bit more inflammation, sodium, water, all those things like that. But at the same time, too, I know the foods that work, right? I know how I plan going into it. I know how I plan after the, you know, after the challenge. I know how I plan during the challenge. I know how I do all these things because I've been doing it for so long, but I've been, so strategic with doing so. So it's just all just comes down to really like, again, your mind can be telling you one thing, but reality could be telling you nothing. You could be telling yourself, you could be like telling people, yourself, all these things like, yeah, I eat this, I eat X, Y, and Z, but nothing's, showcasing. I don't see the results. But are you really doing? Is that your mind talking or is that reality talking? And that's the difference between you winning and you losing. Oh yeah, as if your chest and tries. I think more of the story. Just fucking, you know so, or you think so? If you think so, work on the shit to know so. If you know so, keep doing what you're doing. You're just gonna keep winning life. So other than that, that's it. Again, Thursday's rest day. Friday we'll be hitting some shoulders, new exercises, new waves, all those things like that. Other than that, you guys have a blessed day. I'll see you Friday.